Good morning. Welcome. My name's Angela Davis and I'm the 4am Quilter, and it's been a while since I've sat and had coffee with you. So I thought I'd sit and have coffee with you before I start the video. Last night I was on my way to having a really good night's sleep when a Charlie horse woke me up, and I had to get out of bed and stand on it and stretch my legs a little bit to work it out. Oh, do you know what a Charlie horse is? You might call it something else. It's a leg cramp. How many of you get leg cramps? I don't know. Postmenopausal, the body changes. And so far everything's good, except that, sometimes usually I sleep good. My internal clock is early, obviously. But I get leg cramps now. So, although I always did get leg cramps when I was a kid, I would wake up always in the middle of the night with Charlie horses. But anyway, it woke me up and I was in a sound sleep, and then I was wide awake. So, you know what I did? Well, sleep when you can sew. So that's what I did. And I wasn't planning on doing that, but I got a lot done. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with what I'm going to show you today. I'm really excited. I decided to pull a sheet from my collection of bed sheets, and this one is sort of a smoky blue color. I didn't want a bright blue. I wanted a sort of a smoky blue, and so I'm happy with it. And then I'm doing some string piecing. You'll see. I'm happy with it, and I hope you're happy with it. But you'll notice that my sewing room's a little different. I moved my sewing room from the back porch to the front bedroom. And I did that because the back porch is an enclosed back porch. And when it gets hot back there, it gets hot back there. And it was getting to the point where I would have to edit out me toweling off my forehead because the sweat was rolling down the side of my cheeks. So I'm now in the front room, and that's going to be 24/7 now, unless in the future it needs to be used for something else. But right now I'm really happy with it, how I have it set up. It's not perfected yet, but I'm really happy with the space. And so I'm happy with it. My daughters helped me put up the curtain rods so that I can display quilts on it to show you. The one side of the wall is my design wall. And then the back wall behind me, I have a small, it's actually a dowel rod, but I'm going to take that out and put up another curtain rod because the dowel rod, the hooks, the little hooks I have them on don't come out far enough to give me a space. So I'm going to take that off probably next week and put up another curtain rod. But I'm really happy with the space. Updates on everything. Kids are doing well. Work is busy, and that's good. I've been working some overtime, so, that cuts into my evenings. I don't do a lot of sewing in the evenings because I'm too tired. By the time I get home and make dinner and I sit and relax, I'm toast. But, last week when I posted my videos, there were two. I had issues with the one upload. The one video took 3.5 days to upload. I don't know what the situation was. I started on a Sunday afternoon and it took me until Wednesday night before it completed last week. And then the second video I uploaded, which the first video I wanted it to upload by Sunday night and then upload another video by Wednesday. Well, I ended up uploading both of them by Thursday because the one for Wednesday was ready. It was just a mess. I don't know what the situation was. The only thing I can think of is while I was uploading, it was Sunday evening, and then Monday I had to go to work. It took forever, but it eventually uploaded. So I'm hoping this one uploads much faster because I don't have that much more to do on the project. I'm going to do the quilt top and then post the video. I'm not going to quilt it, and hopefully if I start the upload later in the morning, early afternoon, it'll have all day to upload. So it'll upload by this evening, Sunday evening. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping I don't have issues like I did last week, but that's what happened. Don't know why. It just did. So apologies about that, but everybody's doing well. Our daughter is, as you know, going away to college, and she has literally a week and a half. So we've been prepping. And for those of you who have college students or have had college students, she is doing really well with her prep. She's checking her online messages through the university. She has her move-in date, her scheduled time. She went through the checklist of things she'll need for her dorm room. We took care of that last weekend. I'm washing all her bedding and her towels for her so that everything's nice and clean, you know, and you understand. You get them off the rack at the store and who knows who's touched them by that time. So yeah, she's, you know, it's this close. So our son will be starting his second year of college. He commutes back and forth, and you know, he's doing great, doing well. He's been working a lot this summer, and he doesn't work on campus. He doesn't have a campus job, but he's in the process of acquiring a campus job to make it easier for him with his schooling, because where he works now is the opposite direction of the university. So, and we agree, his father and I agree, get something on campus because you're already there. They work with your schedule. And not that this job didn't work with his schedule, they did. He's a very hard worker. They were going to work with his schedule. It's just that by the time he comes home from school and then has to drive the opposite direction to go to work, it was just, in the summer it was fine, but starting back up in the school year, it was going to make it a little more challenging. And then the only time he has downtime was he would spend studying and working on projects. So his father and I both agree getting a campus job will be much more convenient for him. And the job he wants to apply for, I think, will work really well for him, given his skill set and his expertise of what he knows and that sort of thing. And our youngest is starting her junior year in high school. Gosh. Wow. Wow. Where did the time go? I don't know. She's a funny one. They're all readers. You know, I've been reading to them since they were in the womb. And that one there, she doesn't just read books, she consumes them. And whenever she gets extra money, she wants to go to the bookstore. So, of course, yesterday she's, you know, Mom, bookstore closes at 9 p.m. Okay. You know, we're going to take you to the bookstore. And so she had a certain amount of money in her wallet. And I think by the time she was done buying all her books, she had like $1 left. And this goes on. Depending on how much money she has during the month, this could go on a couple times a month. So I'm telling you, she is a reader, which is a good thing. She just cracks me up. They're all readers, but she loves it, you know, and I'm happy for that. So, nothing going on with me. Oh, my friend Sandy's in town. I'm so excited. So, she's going to be in town, I think, for 7 to 10 days, I think. And I'm going to be seeing her later on today. Yay. So I'm very excited about that. Going to be meeting her for lunch. So I'm happy. I'm excited. We miss each other. So, if you are new to the channel, My name's Angela Davis, and I'm the 4am Quilter, where I share, care, and create with you, and you share and care and create with me. And I try to respond to all your comments. Love it when you guys share some of your stories and talk about your quilting experience, your sewing experience, or anything going on in little bits and pieces of your life. I really do enjoy that. And we have this wonderful medium, YouTube, where we can communicate with each other. And so I'm just very, very happy. And as far as the giveaway goes, I'm still working on it. You know, slowly but surely. I will put the next video I post about is going to be the video where you can, you know, I'll figure out an avenue for you to get in the raffle for the giveaway. For the 9-patch giveaway as a thank you for my first 500 subscribers. Celebrating hitting my 500 subscriber mark. So it's, you know, but, you know, life's busy right now. So is life ever not busy? So yeah, that's what's been going on with me. I hope everything is going on well with you. Like I said, a Charlie horse woke me up last night. I was in a sound sleep. After that, I was wide awake. So you know what that means. Why sleep when you can sew? So with that being said, here's sewing. Enjoy. Okay, for this quilt, it's going to be a Scrappy quilt. And what I've done is I've taken a sheet in a soft blue and I've cut the squares approximately 14 inches. And what's nice about this pattern is it doesn't have to be exact. It's not really a pattern, it's more of an idea. So what we're gonna do is, I have my squares, and I believe I have 12 of them. So there's 3 here. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna make 2 cuts. And they're not gonna be straight up and down, they're gonna be angled, okay? Now I'm gonna do another one in this direction. And I'm just gonna put this on top of one another and I'm gonna set it aside. Now I'm gonna take 3 more. Okay, now that one, I angled the first cut this way and the second cut this way. This time I'm gonna do the opposite. Like this. Okay. And I'm gonna put right in the middle and left on top. And I'm just gonna keep going like that until I have all my background blocks trimmed. And this one is sort of wonky. That. I have a box of scraps that I have ironed. I'm just gonna get cut randomly. And that's about the width that I want. But if they're long like this one, I don't need that whole length, you know? And if I think the width is too wide, I'll just trim it down. Look at that. That's in great shape. Just trim this up. What I'm doing is I'm going to be creating strip panels And we're going to be creating the pieces that are going to go in between those cuts in the background block, okay? These two are a little wide. I'm going to cut them. And as you can see, I'm not being fussy. I'm just cutting randomly. You can tell it came out of my scrap bin. Look at all the threads. Lots and lots of threads. Oh well. Look at that. It's a beautiful red. A couple strips of those. And these don't have to be straight either. We like purple. There's a nice green. Worrying about, are we pressing to the light or the dark? We're just pressing. We're just pressing all in one direction. Now, if it's really a light next to a dark, then you are going to press toward the dark. But otherwise, you're just going to press. Okay, we're just going to press. That's all we're going to do. Just going to press. I am trying to keep the dark on top because that means you are pressing toward the dark when you keep the dark on top. If they're similar, then it doesn't matter. But if you have an obvious light and dark, then you definitely want to press toward the dark, okay? So I'm back, and while I was gone, I stitched long strips together. And now I'm just pressing. And I'm just trying to keep them in one direction. But if one of the seams wants to go in a different direction, that's okay too. It's you know, this is a scrappy part, so if one of those seams doesn't want to go in the direction that you want it to go in, just put it in the direction it wants to go in. There's another one that I did. I needed to charge my phone. Or it wasn't going to let me do anything. Okay, so let me turn it over. I'm just pressing. I'm not being overly fussy. And these are approximately at least 14 inches because my background block is 14 inches. So these are at least 14, if not more, just to have that little bit of extra in case I need it. Oops. And these all have, you know, the edges are not even, and that's okay. The edges are not even. That's okay. Okay, now it is time to decide how wide or narrow I want these strips to be in between the larger background strips. And I'm thinking I want them to finish to 1 inch or 1.5 inches. So with that being said, I'm going to cut a straight line here just to get a nice edge. There's one strip. I'm gonna cut, maybe I'll do this one 1 3/4 inches. So there's 2 strips. Let me get a clean edge on that side. Turn it around. I like how this orange isn't straight. Where's the orange? There it is. I like how it's a little crooked. Let's do the next one. 1 3/4 inches. There. Let's do how about 2 inches? You want to do 1 2 inches? I think so. And if it's not perfectly straight, that's okay. Because it's free form. It's free form. Look at that. Okay. This one's a little narrow. Okay, that's all of them. Now, my strips, after I trim them, I crisscross them. So that, now remember, the top one is always on the left, the way I did it. And then that way, the middle strip was here. At least I think that's what I did. Or no, maybe I did it. Is it backwards? Let's try it this way. There. Looks a little better. Now let's try the first strip. Let's try another strip. It's my iron. Do we like that? Or do we want something like that? Do you like that one? Or could do this one. I think I like that one. This one. Let's put this one up there. You might like. And then let's do the last strip. Do we like that? I like that one. I don't even think I'll change that one out. I like that one. Oh boy. My table looks very messy. I'm not gonna move you. I'm just gonna sew. Just gonna sew. Now I'm not worried about lining up the edges because this is all gonna, I'm not worried about lining up the bottom and the top because it's gonna get trimmed down, okay? It's gonna get trimmed down, so it'll be okay. Okay, now I'm sewing this strip to this side. And I'm not lining up the tops. I'm just sort of eyeballing it. Remember, it's free form sewing. Now, let's press this and see what it looks like. Get this really, try to get it pressed really well. Now this, remember, it's it's gonna look crooked because this is just free-form sewing, piecing. So once I get them all done, then I'll trim them down to a common size. Okay, you ready? There it is. Oh, I like it. I like that. I like that a lot. Like it a lot. Wow, fast and easy. Can we do this one now? I like this one too. Let's look at this one. Haha. They're wonky, I know. Don't worry. That's okay, I've got a little wonky. That's okay. Oh, I really like this. I really, really like this. I'm gonna have to come back to you tomorrow. Miss Angela's a little tired. Okay? I will see you tomorrow. Okay, I thought you were on, but you must not have been on. But anyway, I don't know where I left off because I thought you were on. Okay, so I pulled each cut. I don't know if I even got that on video. Let's start from over here. Now remember, I cut these in threes. So you're going to take the top 3 off to the right and then move this one to the left. And what you're going to do is you're going to line them up so that they look like they form that original square, okay? Then you're going to take one from each, okay? And then you're going to sew your strip in the middle of each of those cuts, all right? Because remember, we had a 14-inch square approximately, and I made 2 cuts. And then I sewed my strips together in between. And now I'm going to iron. I don't know what happened to my camera. I thought I had it on, but I don't know. And then it went dark. The screen went dark. So I don't know if I even got that for you. I was probably talking to myself and didn't realize it. Okay, I'm just pressing. Now remember, this is free-form sewing. And I knew when I started this that I would be trimming these blocks down to a common size, okay? I knew that when I started. So it's okay if this seam isn't quite matching this seam, or if it doesn't look quite straight over here, that's okay, because it's all going to get trimmed down to a common size, all right? So I have 9 blocks, 3 across, 3 down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of them off the wall and I'm going to measure them just to get an average measurement so that I know what size I'm going to trim these to, okay? That one is 13 on its shortest side. This one's 13.5. Oh, they're falling off. Let's see what this one is. I think 13 is going to be the size, the magic number. Okay, so let me get these off. I'm going to trim them down. Gonna find 13. There we go. Take those out of the way and then turn it so that those 2 straight edges are on the left and the bottom. line it up with 13. There's 1. There's 2. Let's turn it. 13. 13. Let's try it. Okay, the top one looks good. What about the bottom one? Is that 13? Let's find out. 13. Yeah, 13. I just cut 2 at a time. There. I like it. I like it a lot. Has sort of a modern flair to it. And I like it. You know, I didn't know what I was going to do with this blue sheet. I thought I'd use it on the back of a quilt. But then when I decided to do another Strippy quilt, you know, another Strippy quilt, I thought, you know, what can I do with that blue? And it's sort of a smoky blue. And I thought, what if I just do little pops of color in the middle of each one? And I'm really pleased with it. So should I start sewing it up? I think so. So we're going to go from left to right, okay? So we're going to go like this. This is row 1. And I'm going to put this face down, okay? Row 2. And I'm going to put this face down. Row 3. And I'm going to put this face down. And remember, the top one is top left corner. And I'm sewing starting on this side. So I'm going to grab that side, because that's the side I'm going to start sewing on. And when I set it down next to my sewing station, I'm going to set it down so that the side I'm going to seam is facing the sewing machine. So the side that I'm going to sew is facing the sewing machine, okay? So I'm going to pick it up. I'm still facing the sewing machine. And I'm going to grab the next one. Oop. Well, there went that berry. But because this is a scrappy quilt, it's okay. It's okay. It's all okay. Okay, now, here we go. Had a little cough there. Now I'm going to open it up. And the piece on top was your number 2, the one in the middle. Now you're going to grab the next piece and line it up. And this sews quickly because there's no seams to match. Because the strips are going in opposite directions and it's a free-form quilt. So there's no seams to match, which is so nice. Don't have to worry about nesting, nothing like that. This is row 1. I'm going to open it up. put it face down. Okay. Now I'm going to grab the next one, which is middle left, because this is my middle row. There's only 3 rows. Gonna just match up the beginning and the end here. It's so nice when you don't have to worry about matching up seams, don't have to worry about nesting. Now, the block that's on top is the middle block of the second row, so open it up. And the block that you want to sew to it is on the end of that row. Okay? I don't know if I'm explaining that well. But in this particular quilt, if you get a block turned the wrong way, it's okay. It can be easily fixed because it's a freeform quilt. You know, let's face it, if you're working on a different pattern, if you get something turned the wrong way, it affects the pattern. This one's a little different. So this is the bottom row. This top one is on the left. You're going to pull it to the side because this one's the middle. So here's your seam right here. So you're just going to flip this on top of that one, and your seam is always facing your sewing machine, okay? Okay, now, this top one is in the middle. Your beginning of the row is your left side of that bottom row. So you're going to open it up, slide it, so that the middle piece is laying next to that piece that's on the right, because there's 3 blocks in this row. The far left is the left, here's the middle, here's the right. Now, we're going to put this block on top of the middle block, because we're going to sew it together, right sides facing, and this seam facing the machine is the seam you're going to sew. And that's how you keep them straight. Now, this type of a block, it doesn't matter much because, you know, if it's not perfectly lined up, it's okay, because it's more of a free-form quilt. But if you were working with a quilt that had a specific pattern, it's very important to follow those steps. Okay. Now we're going to open it up like this, put it face down on top of the other ones, okay? Now, this top one is your top row. And the one underneath is the middle row, okay? So this is your top row. Pull it forward and then lay it face down on top of the middle row, okay? Now we're gonna sew the rows together, and I really don't have to pin. This is a free-form quilt, so if you have a seam that's not quite straight, it goes a little askew, that's okay. This quilt is very forgiving because it's a free-form quilt. Now, the row on top is the top row, so open it up. Your top row is on top. You're going to lay it down on top of the next row because the next row is the bottom row. Here we go. There it is. The final quilt.